Hey guys, welcome back to the Maker Basement. Today we're going to talk about how to make LED neon signs because I've seen a couple videos, but like every other video is about like how do you actually put in the silicone or put in the LED. So you don't actually need to do that. The first thing you need to do is put in the artwork in your machine. So see, these videos are all about like making the actual sign, but someone needs to draw it, and even though you could outsource it, you need to like know how to make it. So we're gonna do something simple first, and then in another video we'll just like try to customize templates. But for now, let's do a Christmas sign. Okay, let's do a Christmas tree. Let's do this one. This sells for, I mean, we're not gonna sell it. I'm just explaining it, how to make it. But let's copy this image. I would like have an idea of the image, because one of the things that happens is that if we don't take into account the image size, these angles right here, the silicone, I mean, if you're using second generation, the silicone won't be as flexible. I have here a piece of silicone. So if we're gonna make the star, I mean, it's only so much that can't be bent. And then if we're gonna make another rounded corner, I mean, this is not like super flexible. So anyway, let's start with something simple. And as you can see here, like every drawing has to take into account that it's gonna be used for silicone LED strip. So what that means is that this rounded corner right here, you gotta not make it sharp, because if not, you would have to like cut it. So that way here it's only like literally one piece, because this rounded corner makes it easy for you to put in the silicone gel on it. So anyway, here is the smallest size this company does. It's 16 by 11. So let me just show you how it's done. So basically, I don't know if you could see the artboard. It's here. So basically we put this inside the artboard, because that's like literally how big it's gonna be. And now we put the artboard to be 16 by 11. So I should have done this first. Okay, so let's do this with the shift key selected, so it doesn't lose proportions. You do this and see it's inside the artboard. So now we're gonna lock this layer, and we're gonna put a new layer in. We're gonna use the pen tool. We're gonna take out the fill, and we're gonna put it a color we can see, and we're gonna zoom in and start making like the actual trace. In this case, I'm gonna be using the star tool, since I know it's easier for me. So I'm gonna put it like something like this, and then I'm gonna use the direct selection tool and take a circle, and with the shift selected, I'm gonna round all the corners. So I'm gonna put it bigger and just like try to fit it now inside of the actual image. So it's a star. I mean, No one really cares. It's gonna look good either way. So one of the things we have to know is how thick the actual silicone is. So in my case, I'm gonna be using 6 millimeters. So if we convert 6 millimeters to points, because that's what Adobe Illustrator uses. So if we're gonna use 6 millimeters, we're gonna copy the 17.0079 points, and that's how thick our stroke is gonna be. So we're gonna basically put in that as the stroke, round and round. So that's like whenever the CNC is gonna carve out the acrylic, that's how thick it's actually gonna look relative to the artboard. We want to know that because we want to know, like, hey, is this too close to the other? Or like if we're writing something and we're gonna write it like really little, say we're gonna say you are, see what happens here? Like the silicone isn't gonna stay in place because the two letters like overlap each other. So that's like the importance of knowing what type of thickness are you using on your LED neon signs. The silicone comes in 6, 8, and 12. I mostly use 6. So, okay, I'm gonna see where's the middle of this. And it doesn't apparently have a middle. So I'm gonna just divide this in the middle. So both stay the same. And then I'll just like copy and so we're gonna be putting the pen tool in the middle, and we don't like want, I'm gonna show you later on like how to actually make smooth corners, because we don't want to be the guy who makes the corners too tight and then the machine, which is a machine, cuts it, but then we're gonna have to be like most of the time just like cutting and pasting or whatever because we did it like wrong. Okay, this is good. I'm gonna just put this over here so that, yeah, I would just put it like here, and then we'll fix this. Okay, so we don't want it to be like another extra round here, because then whenever the machine goes, it's gonna like grab it. Okay, so we have that. Let's smooth that out. We're gonna smooth it with the smooth tool, and we'll just like, once it's selected the layer, just like pass it and click by it so it smooths out the corners. We don't want a tree that looks like a robot. Okay, so we have that. Now we're gonna take the direct selection tool, and with the shift pressed on and the option button on it, we're gonna move it to the side, and then we're gonna right click it, transform, reflect. Okay, now with the shift selected, we're gonna put it on top of the other one, or just to the, whoa, we're not on top, like whenever the looks good on the other corner. And now we'll just fix it, but we know it has like the same proportions and whatever. So okay, let's take this direct selection tool, and we'll just, I mean, I'm not a graphic designer, I'm basically a manufacturer, so this is the method that works for me. You have an easier one, use it. I'm just trying to show you like how it's done. I'll do this, and then I'll select the selection tool. I'll shift select this, and I'll shift select this, and then we'll unite everything. And now we'll just fix this. I'm gonna take the pen tool, I'm gonna take this out, and now we'll just like modify this. I mean, nobody's gonna be looking that it comes out exactly, because this is basically just like a model we took. We use the smooth tool, and then we just smooth out the edges. The most important part is that you know that it has to be 17 inches, 17 points, because that's what's gonna be a lifesaver whenever you're like actually working on it. So there we have the tree. Now we just make a shape, which is gonna be a rectangle. Use a rectangle. We select this corner, we put it like that, and then we'll use the scissors here and here. We'll delete this, and then we'll just put this to intersect. Okay, so if we turn this off, we have the tree, which basically is the same. And then we'll just select everything, like to copy it, and then just there's a couple way actually of doing this. We'll just select this, we're gonna expand, right, like unite everything, release it, and then unite it again, and then we'll just like stroke. I like to put like 80 to 100, but since we know that this is the actual measurement of the artboard, we could just do it like that. Remember to round your corners, and then we could object expand and just unite everything. I mean, if you're a graphic designer, you probably are like shouting and crying how bad I did this, but this is the way it works for me. So basically this is the neon sign, how it's gonna look. And then whenever you're like doing the toolpath, you're gonna basically say to the machine, yeah, we can give it a little love here. We could say to the machine, the bit just goes right in the middle. So if you're gonna be doing 6mm lead CNC bit, so if you're gonna be using a CNC to do this, you're gonna be using this type of bit. That's a special bit that comes exactly for just doing the signs, or doing the routings for the signs, because it has like a special angle here for the LED strip to just like stand in place. So that takes, I mean, that's prime. It's only $25. That's the same price I pay for my China bits. So just make sure you don't do the same error I did, because I bought it 6mm and a 6mm diameter and a 4.2. That's how the depth, how deep do you want it to go. So basically these are all for 4.2 depth, which is alright, but the only thing that changes is the diameter of the bit. This is a 10 millimeter diameter, and this is for the 8 millimeter lead strip, and this is for the 6 one. So depends on the router you have and the colors available and whatever. So you're gonna be using that, and then you're gonna be using, I mean, I could put this in the description, and you're gonna be using a Flute acrylic bit. I would recommend using a 1/8 inch because that's, I mean, that's what's gonna leave the smoothest cut. But if you use like these types of tools, which this is what I recommend, it's gonna be cheaper. And acrylic, like if you're using a 1/8, you wanna like get rid of the bit whenever it like is not as sharp, because you don't wanna like have to be polishing the edges. So that's all for today. Remember to subscribe and like my video, please, if you like my content. I'm just trying to help. Any questions you have, just ask me. I'll answer it in another video, and another video will be done on like how to actually make the toolpaths for the LED strip to go in. Okay, so appreciate you guys for staying on, and we'll see you in another video.